Years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Pitch is a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home.
Vienna and JJ Buck.
You off the couch? All day Saturday, all day Sunday, you off the couch yet? You got a Monday nighter too. Oh man. That's why you love it, right? Or you don't, because there were some bad watches on there too. Let's go. I mean, Monday morning, Overreaction Monday. This is a national holiday, I believe, around America. Overreaction Monday, after the first week of the National Football League. They're really good, they're really not, and they're fire that coach. Let's go. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Happy Monday. How you doing?
What it do?
You good?
We're all right.
How many miles you put on the couch this weekend?
Quite a bit.
Put this in the same spot, or do you move?
Well, I move around because
You got a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to balance that.
Do you got a favorite spot? Is there a go-to spot?
Oh yeah. It's usually the centermost spot.
Yeah.
Where the couch is versus the TV.
Yeah, I was between the left side of the couch and then the chair, the recliner, back and forth, and then the center when I'm eating. Because I don't go to the table, I eat right there. Man, there was a lot, and you put a lot of miles on the couch from all day Saturday. Starting with game, I got up early to watch game day. Child had
At least they had fun.
Look, man.
At least they enjoyed the game day atmosphere. It's crazy, and they won a championship last year.
And yeah, she wasn't there for that, but she was there for game day. And then Texas came in and whooped Michigan, and literally all the way through watching the Aggies watch their lead go away late night. To getting up in the morning, and then, I mean, damn, dude. I mean, at least I got some laundry done and got some housework done. And went through, so I consolidated a few boxes, because otherwise, man, this was all about football. Are the Cowboys that good or the Browns that bad? Make sense of all the rookie quarterbacks. How good are the Lions? Make sense of the Rams. With all the injuries now to the line and to Puka Nacua. Pittsburgh, backup quarterback, or is he a backup quarterback? They just find ways to win. Jacksonville just finds ways to lose. Buffalo, there were a lot of comebacks yesterday. Buffalo came back. Chicago came back. We got a whole lot of stuff to unpack. Let me give you phone numbers. 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animal phone line and our text line. 505-246-0610. Your emails come in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We are live on the X, or JJ is, underscore JJ Buck. You can watch the show on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Adrian's produced it on ProView Networks. We're on Xfinity Channel 26. JJ, I don't even know where to start. I'm going to start on Sunday morning. And before we even had a ball in the air, there were two gigantic stories. Dak got paid 4 years, $240 million, and video was surfacing of Tyreek Hill handcuffed face down on the pavement before he went out and caught 7 balls for 130 yards and a touchdown. And one, obviously, I mean, we're gonna go. We don't know much about to go into. Can I start with Dak and then we'll get into Tyreek Hill? And I jumped on the morning show with. I was just out getting a burrito and I heard DC and Ned and Isaiah talking about it here on the Sports Animal. They didn't get that deal done yesterday. I mean, good for Jerry, and he's great at it, but they were so calm during this whole thing. They both knew they were getting it done. That deal, I'm convinced, was done weeks ago, and they were going to steal the headlines on opening day, and good for them, and they did, and opening day morning, and they did. $60 million, and I'm not sure how I think Cowboy fan feels about locking up your quarterback for 4 more years, but he sure looked good yesterday. Your team looked good. But I'm convinced that deal didn't get done yesterday morning. They didn't, before Dak left the hotel in Cleveland. Well, Dak, here's your no. That deal, I'm convinced, and this is when they decided to release it. Which, fine, it's very Jerry and Cowboy fashion, and it worked.
Even a deal like that's not going to steal all the headlines from NFL opening Sunday, because there's just so much going on. But I can't push back on that because it's been par for the course with Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys. Like, there's no reason that these deals shouldn't have been done earlier, and then these wouldn't have been talking points at all, because you know you're going to lock in CeeDee Lamb. We can continue to have the debate on Dak Prescott, and we know good quarterbacks get great contracts these days. That's the way it is in the NFL. But if you're Jerry Jones, you also take a step back and realize Dak Prescott gives you a chance to win double-digit games in the NFL. The performance yesterday, I think, makes everyone feel better about where they're at. When you go in having the 4th lowest point total on the board, everyone thinks that, well, the one thing the Browns can do is play defense. And Dallas went out there, was efficient, effective, and I think the biggest thing from that, Deshaun Watson is still a disaster. But for the Cowboys, the way they operate, I'm with you. That didn't just happen overnight. That wasn't something that Dak Prescott woke up Sunday morning, checked his phone, and his agent texted him,
Hey, look
got
what we got
done.
here. Yeah, you're getting $60 million a year. Yeah, looky here. All right, you want to sign it? Then go play the Browns? Yeah, that didn't happen yesterday morning. But, I mean, look, if this happens on a Tuesday, this is all we're talking about. But Cowboy fan, I'm really, really interested now where you are. I'm not sure I have a sense. And maybe you feel better than you did yesterday morning after the way he played yesterday against what should be a really good defense for the Cleveland Browns. JJ, you're right. To me, the story there, what are they going to do?
You don't have to wait anymore. We know it's the worst trade in NFL history because it was backed up with what will be the worst contract in NFL history.
$230 million guaranteed to a guy who was suspended, was coming off, I don't want to say one of the biggest scandals ever, but a huge, is that a scandal? It's not even a scandal. What is that? A controversy? A huge issue? A huge what do you put a word on that? It's not a scandal. It's right? I mean, a scandal is, I don't know. Dude enjoyed massages and was accused of sexually assaulting 20-something women. And you decided to go make a trade, a bunch of assets for him, give him $230 million guaranteed, and hand over the keys to your franchise to him. And you are getting everything that a lot of people felt you deserved at the time. And he's not been good. And your backup is Jameis Winston. His backup is Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who's out. Your team should be really good. I understand Nick Chubb is out. But, I mean, Amari Cooper was you want to talk about a guy who just looks like, what am I doing here, man?
Non-factor.
Like a guy who's a good player, and he's out there, and he's a non-factor because everybody's a non-factor because their quarterback is so. JJ, give me. There's not a lot of worse quarterback situations right now.
it's a bad spot, and the defense took a little bit of a step back. Like, it wasn't a if you look at it, Dak Prescott didn't go crazy. He was efficient. Like, Zeke Elliott found the end zone. They got ahead. They were able to manage the game in the second half. They got a special teams touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was a tough spot
Well, hey, look,
for the Cowboys, and they put up 33 points.
The Cowboys' numbers, when you look at their stats, are not just, oh, look, they lit them up. Now, they owned that game. But when you look at total yards, they only put up 265 yards. It's not like they went crazy. That's total. Dak went for 163, and they only ran for 102 yards. It's hard for me to sit here and blame this completely on the Cleveland defense, although I agree with you. They may have taken a step back. But Cleveland was inept offensively. Inept. And you can tell me Dallas' defense is really, really good, and you may be right again. You might be. Let's see. Let's give it a week or two, right? Let's overreact to everything today. But I've seen enough of Cleveland now with Deshaun Watson. I saw last year. I've seen now. Like, they were better with Joe Flacco. They were better with what was the dude that came over from Arizona before Joe Flacco? It was like the hot thing last year, right? They played 5 guys last year.
They might be better with Jameis Winston soon.
They might be with Jameis Winston soon. How about that? I don't know how much better they're going to be, but they might be with Jameis Winston soon. And I don't know at what point, as an ownership group, as a team, as a franchise, you just say, "Damn, dude, this one," and let this guy go to the great massage parlor in retirement.
That's right. It's Cleveland at home. You look at the box score,
They can't,
and you look like, how is it 33-17? It's because the offense is,
and they scored a touchdown the last minute to make it 17.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't even that close.
No,
like it honestly.
Because you're right. The Zeke Elliott averaged 4 yards per carry on
God bless
10
him.
rushes.
God.
Rico Dowdle 3.3 yards. So there wasn't a lot there on the ground, but they finished drives early.
Yeah, they put them away. No, good. That's a great win for Dallas, man. A great win for Dallas to start the season. They look terrific defensively.
I do think that's more on Deshaun Watson, but that's still going to be a competitive defensive unit.
All right. Well, next week you get a team who put up 40-something. Let's see in New Orleans. Let's see. How about that?
Who feels worse?
Carolina or the Browns? The Browns do, because the Browns thought they were something. Carolina knows what they are. Now,
That's also a number 1 pick down the drain,
Well,
and then there's all the could have had this guy, could have had that guy.
I mean, it's totally fair, because they're in trouble too. And you're going to have to convince me somewhere along the line that
just
that
doesn't
Bryce
look
Young's
like
getting
an
better.
NFL quarterback.
He doesn't.
Even this weekend, the rookies reminded you how hard the NFL is.
Yep. None of them played well.
The Caleb Williams didn't get 100 yards passing.
No, they won
Bo
because
Nix
of their
threw 42 passes and couldn't get past 3.3 yards per pass.
Jaden Daniels looked the best.
Jaden Daniels, just because he has legs.
Yeah.
He's super athletic.
Yep.
But Terry McLaurin, raise your hand if you're scared. That's me.
Yeah.
It was a reminder of it's really hard to do that in the NFL. But Bryce Young, oof.
He looks small.
First pass of the game throws an interception.
Look, he looks small. He looks sketchy, like intimidated. He doesn't look confident. At least, Caleb Williams looked confident. Jaden Daniels looked totally confident. I thought Bo Nix was fine at times. Like at times. Like they were in that game.
That was a little bit of, Sean Payton's going to have him good, and then the lights turn on and you realize, the Broncos don't have a lot of playmakers.
Well, they don't. And there was I'm worried about the Broncos running game a lot. And there was a lot of talk going into that about what a tough start up against a McDonald defense. And this is the guy who completely shut down C.J. Stroud in last year's opener, and he's going to make a rookie look like a rookie. And they did. But all the rookies, to me, look like rookies. Caleb Williams, his team won the game because Will Levis
lost the game.
What the hell?
There was a lot of that yesterday.
A lot of losing the game?
Losing the game.
You're damn right there was.
Collapse meter over 50%.
Not just yesterday, but Saturday as well. Ask the Aggies. All right, so let's go. Let's go. We're going to be all over the place. I mean, is there a direction on this? Yeah, it's football today, and wherever we want to go, but there's a million storylines. We still got to get into Tyreek Hill. What fan base is the most sick this morning? Giant fan base? Bengal fan base? I mean, no, seriously, the Brown fan base. I mean, where are you the most sick? Buffalo had to come back and win. 505-246-0610. Bronco Mendenhall is due to be with us at 9 o'clock. We're going to have a conversation with him. And as the Lobos get ready to go to Auburn, and Auburn got beat this weekend. I don't know if you saw that, but Auburn got beat this weekend. And it was Cal who went in there. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. But that's where the Lobos are going. We'll talk to Bronco coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. When we come back, Cowboy fan, how good's your team? Bronco fan, how do you feel after that performance? Was it better than you thought? Worse than you thought? Raider fan, what happened to your offense? Because all of a sudden that front line of the Chargers look like they are really, really good. 505-246-0610. All right, you're out there. It's Balloon Fiesta's coming. It's State Fair's coming. You got people in town. You got people in your car all the time. Make it respectable. Actually, make it better than respectable. Make it beautiful. Get your car detailed by On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Just a strong suggestion from your good friend over here. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you and details your vehicle. And people ask me all the time, like, what does that mean they come to you? Yes, like wherever it's convenient for you. If it's at work, you're Jeff, I don't have time. I get it, man. I don't either. So while I'm in the office, they're out in the parking lot and they detail my vehicle. If you work out of the house, or hell, you coach football and you got a 2-hour practice, they'll go out to the stadium and detail it in the parking lot there. They detail your vehicle, and when they're done, it looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. That's how good they are. They're best in the city. They won best in the city because they're best in the city. Ask them about ceramic tint and ceramic coating. The ceramic tint blocks 99% of UV and infrared rays, and they are your certified 3M dealer for window tint. They are the best. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, 505-859-2859. Area code 505-859-2859, or online at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers, they maintain a high level of take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
8.5 against the mighty New England Patriots. They lost 16-10. You had the Falcons laying 3.5 against the mighty Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost 18-10. And you were a winner with the Buccaneers laying 3.5 over the Commandos, and they won 37-20. So you were 1-2.
Yeah, immediately felt terrible about Cincinnati a few hours later when they're like, oh, and by the way, T. Higgins is doubtful.
Yeah.
Well, alrighty then.
My lone winner was I had the Saints minus 3.5. They won by 100. I think
we could make some money on the Panthers this year.
Yeah. I had the Broncos plus 5.5. Looked good all day. They lost by the hook. They lost by 6, so I lose. And another one that I thought all morning I won, I took the Titans plus 3.5 against the Bears. And what was the final score there? I know they lost. They lost by the number. 24-17. Will Levis decided to give that one away. So we're both off to a 1-2 start, big man.
Yes, overall we are both 3-4 with our 0-week plays.
Oh, we're playing the okay. We could play the college games. Yep,
it was like our exhibition.
All right,
start.
So we both went 1-2 this week, and we're both 3-4. It's not very good. We'll do them again on Friday. I mean, so you can bet against us. I'm working on biggest winners and losers, man. And I'll get there. The Rams last night. What did you make of the Rams?
That Sean McVay is one of the best play callers in the NFL, and Matthew Stafford
still
is a top 5 quarterback in this league. Because to have the amount of injuries they have in the offensive line, to lose Puka Nacua, and for Detroit to know there's one option and they couldn't stop it, is something crazy that Cooper Kupp was able to get off like that.
14 catches, 21 targets.
Force overtime on the road. And credit to Detroit, they just go power football, drive it right down the field in OT.
Yeah.
But it's wizardry.
Boy,
with McVay and Stafford.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble with that line. And I mean, to have 3 pieces out and moving them around, and then Puka and Nacua, I mean, knee, weeks? What are we talking about?
Let's wait and see.
I was telling this dude, man, not only did I get pumped in all 3 leagues, I lose my keeper. Like, fantasy football's over.
It's the worst.
Dude, it sucks.
I love it, but
I hate it. I forgot how much I hate fantasy football.
I'm like, can I just be someone that gives other people advice? Because I sure don't use that advice.
I'm not good. I
had some really great under the radar plays that came out. I was on Rashid Shaheed and Michael Wilson as touchdown scorers this weekend. Hit that, but they were nowhere near lineups I put together.
Like I'm playing, at the end, give me garbage touchdown. I got Amari Cooper. He's got Jerome Ford. Amari Cooper drops one in the end zone. Jerome Ford scores with 20 seconds to go. It's like that. What? Yeah, that's how it is. All right. Cowboy fan, your guy got paid. How you feeling? Highest paid player in the history of the NFL. Dak Prescott. Threw for 156 yards in the first half. Ended up throwing for 179. They win 33-17. Your guy is locked up. Biggest story in that game was Deshaun Watson and how he looked. I just, if you're a Browns fan, you got to vomit, don't you? Like I look at this, JJ. I don't know. Man, we'll get into winners and losers. But the state of Ohio in pro football wasn't big yesterday. What'd you make of the Broncos? 26-20. They get beat by the Seahawks. That game was a rough watch, by the way. They couldn't run the ball.
The Broncos, we got a little over our skis with the preseason hype of Bo Nix. It happens every single year with something in the preseason that overvalue a little bit too much, but this is the reality. Sean Payton is going to let Bo Nix throw a lot of passes. He wants to pass the football. He doesn't want to run. It's going to be really difficult in that offense to be successful with a young Bo Nix, not a lot of playmakers, and pretty much abandoning the run game. So offensively, that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of attempts, not a lot of yardage, turnovers, because Bo Nix was out of the pocket a ton, throwing off his back foot. And, yeah, they were pesky defensively. They really made the Seahawks passing game a question, but Kenneth Walker got off.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker went nuts in the second half. I know what the numbers are, and my eyes told me I think Bo Nix is going to be okay. Like, I looked at all the rookies. Caleb Williams didn't throw for 100 yards. Now, his team won because his defense scored a bunch of points. They scored 2 defensive and a special team yesterday. Or just 2 defense, whatever.
Yeah, they had a pick 6 and a return touchdown, right?
Yeah. Caleb Williams didn't win that game. His team did. And so he's going to get all the flowers. But if you ask me to rank the quarterback performances by the rookies yesterday, I would say Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, and Caleb Williams. Now, it's one game, and it's not how all their careers are going to go. I think Bo Nix is going to be okay. I think what yesterday was an illustration of how hard it is to play in the National Football League and how hard the transition is from one level to the next. It's just different. Like Caleb Williams, some of those scrambles that he would get away with at USC, he's getting chased down. Some of the throws that Bo Nix would get away with at Oregon, you got the best in the world that are there to pick him off. I think he's going to be okay. They've got to find a running game. I don't think that they nor anybody can completely rely on a passing game. The Rams tried it last night. It didn't work. The Lions came out, ran it down their throat, and they won. Seattle beat them because Seattle discovered a running game in the second half, and Kenneth Walker ran it down their throats, and that's why they won. I think at some point they've got to, JJ, if they're just going to sling it 50 times, I don't think they're going to win. I think Bo Nix will be good. They've got to find a way to run the football, and I don't know if it's McLaughlin, if it's going to be Williams, who it's going to be, but they can't rely completely on him or it's going to be a long year.
It's also on Sean Payton.
Yeah.
What you want to do in that offense. So they had 20 carries by running backs. 5 of them came by Bo Nix. He had that scramble at the end where he was able to score a touchdown. And I think there's also a reason we look at Bo Nix was the 6th quarterback off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was a first-round pick, but he was the 6th one selected. This is going to be his game. It was about efficiency. It was about attempts throughout his college career. And Sean Payton is going to push him through these rookie speed bumps. I think continue to let him pass the football. Now, it's just a team that doesn't have a lot to back that up skill position-wise. I think that's just the year for Denver, and it's ultimately what more people should have expected. And just overall rookie quarterbacks, how we can keep saying it. What C.J. Stroud last year is not the expectation.
Yeah, but it took him a minute too. He didn't click game one either.
Okay, but none of these guys are going to have a CJ Stroud season.
Maybe not.
But it was expected.
Yeah.
Because 6 quarterbacks on the top 12 picks. Game changers. Yes.
I think
this is the way it usually goes.
The question's more how many are going to have Bryce Young seasons? Right? To me, that's more the question. Because I agree with you. The CJ Stroud season was an anomaly. There's not a lot of rookie quarterbacks who come in and hit it right away. And I say right away, that means in the first year. CJ Stroud didn't in week 1 or week 3. It took him, about a month, and then all of a sudden he got better and better and better. That team went from a team that had second pick overall in the draft to a team that won a division. Right? Now they got expectations. They're talking about going to the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. And they got a big win yesterday. So, all right. I'll give you winners and losers coming up about 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, Bronco Mendenhall. When we come back, I'm going to get into the Tyreek Hill situation. It was pretty impressive what he had to say, how he had to say it after the game. I thought was impressive. But before the game, he's going in, he gets pulled over for his violation, a motor vehicle violation, ends up handcuffed on the pavement. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds.
And you're coming off a Friday game where Jordan Love got hurt. JJ, Jordan Love got hurt. They got beat. I mean, they're in trouble, right? Malik Willis, Green Bay Packers quarterback. That was after the Friday game in Brazil. Then Sunday morning, you get the news Dak Prescott signed his extension, 4 years, $240 million. Cowboy fan, how you feeling about that? And then all of a sudden you start hearing Tyreek Hill got stopped, arrested, cuffed, laid on the pavement. Then you saw the video. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. So I don't know how you heard it, how you whatever you do on game day morning. You start, how you get into your game, man. Some of you go to church and come back and watch the game. Some of you get up and early and watch every damn fantasy football show there is, or every pregame, whatever it is. Some of you play with the kids, whatever. However, that news filtered into you, it was troubling, right? And we all started thinking, well, Scotty Scheffler thing, right? Scotty Scheffler was arrested, thrown up against the car, hauled downtown, orange jumpsuit, that whole thing. You're like, what the hell? Then you saw the video, dude, of Tyreek Hill cuffed with a knee in his back, face first on the pavement. And you're like, what the hell is going on? And then you got the word Calais Campbell, his teammate, NFL Man of the Year, was handcuffed when he went over and tried to de-escalate the situation. Campbell said they put handcuffs on me too. I was like, what's going on? I didn't understand what the issue was. For him to put handcuffs on me, I felt some kind of way. That just goes to show our resilience, though. We didn't let that stop us. That was definitely an interesting way to start a ball game, end quote. There's so many components to it, and we're not going to run away from any of them. But JJ, how'd you, like, when you heard it, how'd you digest it? Because this was it's a receiver that, with all due respect, doesn't have a criminal reputation, but not the great. He
does.
I guess he does. All right, so there's a reputation around him. Did he mouth off? Did he, or is it just the police? This is how they treat black men in America, and I think the truth is maybe somewhere in between.
Yes, and it is, as Tyreek Hill spoke on it, if he wasn't Tyreek Hill, is he hauled downtown? Mm-hmm. Like, do they let him go? Is there immediate reaction from the police department to suspend someone, to look into an
So
incident
the
like
one
this?
officer has been placed on administrative duty as of yesterday afternoon.
Because if these aren't celebrities, if it's not Scotty Scheffler, it's not Tyreek Hill,
we don't know about it.
You don't know about it, and then if they did something wrong, there's no investigation going on.
So there's a lot that bothers me about it, and I'm not going to pass judgment until we hear it. I mean, we'll see the lapel cam
and the Calais Campbell stuff too. If you said these, the NFL Man of the Year, this or that, I think the reason he was in handcuffs. It's a 6'6" man walking towards those.
Yeah, and I
trying to be like, what are you doing to Tyreek Hill?
Right. Here's one of the things, and I don't want to say the thing because obviously there's a lot that should bother you about what happened. But JJ, what the hell happened? So what happened to get it to the point where the police felt that necessary to take him out of his vehicle, cuff him, put a knee on his back, put him face first, but then not arrest him and let him go? And that's the part that's like, okay, what the hell's going on? If something happened to the point where he had, again, what would be the reasons to take him out of the car? He had a warrant. He said something. He had drugs in his car or an open container right, which none of those things have been said, nor would I assume any of that. Did he mouth? I don't know what he said, but something happened in the police mind that they found it necessary to take him out of his vehicle, cuff him, put a knee on his back, and put him face first on the pavement in broad daylight. At what time are we talking about? Probably 11 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning before a game. What time does a player go in for a 1 o'clock game? Right? A guy that's getting out of a car like that. And then, okay, you're good, man. We're going to let you go. Like, we didn't even arrest you. And not that I'm saying it would have been better if they hauled him downtown. But what got it to that point where that's how they had to escalate the situation? And then, yeah, but there's no arrest. So we're good. All right. Have a nice day, Mr. Hill. That's one of the things that I'm really struggling. I mean, obviously it bothers me watching that, but I'm struggling just trying to understand, how do you get there and then say, all right, well, because Scotty Scheffler, he got cuffed, thrown up against the car, and they hauled his ass downtown, put him in a jumpsuit, and he had to get bailed out. And again, I'm not telling you he got treated worse. That's not what I'm saying. But the police, when they decided it was to the point where
we're detaining him on the ground,
right,
and then to go from that to you're free to go.
How do we get from there to there to there?
Like, was there like probable cause to search the car? Did someone finally snap and go, oh man, this is Tyreek Hill?
I don't know. That should have happened when they said, may I see your ID, sir? I mean, wouldn't that happen at that point? Can I see your driver's license?
Apparently he was speeding. Boom.
Okay.
All right, you get pulled over.
All right. Cite the man.
You get in a verbal altercation. Does that mean they pull you out of the car?
Cite the man and go on your merry way. How do we get there? Do you have the Tyreek Hill sound afterwards? This is Tyreek after the game. And what he had to say.
You know, so I've been trying to figure that out too. Man. Right now I'm still trying to put it all together. So I'm not gonna give you a version that I still don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to be able to use this platform to say, like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, bro? Like, worst case scenario, you know?
Biggest winners and losers of the weekend. 9 o'clock, Bronco Mendenhall. We still got to get into an insane day of college football on Saturday. So it's 505-246-1037. 0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line and text line. Holiday season is just around the corner. If you're searching for your perfect party venue, I got it for you. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. They've got every space you need for any celebration you can plan, from anything from intimate dinners and gatherings to grand socials and galas. They got staff, service, food, and beverage options that exceed expectations. Your party will be the event everybody wants to attend. So you can check venue off of your event planning list because their team's got you covered. From beautiful customizable dining sets, a sophisticated, extravagant food and beverage menu, staff and event planning expertise. We go there every year. Isleta New Mexico Bowl has hosted our players there every Thursday night during bowl week. They do a great job. You've been to events there. You understand it. This is an easy one. You got to solve this problem. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. When you're looking to host an event, be at the center of it all, right downtown at the Albuquerque Convention Center. 505-768-4575. That's 505-768-4575 or online at albuquerquecc.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azir.
So they're trained to use these submission methods, but when they use them, can get you in a lot of trouble. And I don't know if the officer realized after a minute, oh, wait a second, and then what happens is they run your license. Oh, it's Tyreek Hill. So some lieutenant said, get off his back and let him go, or a sergeant, you know. So somebody
How come that didn't happen when they
supervisor capacity?
When they looked at it, they said, "Can I see your ID, please?" It says Tyreek Hill right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, some guys don't get it. You know, they don't know who Tyreek Hill is.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that officer didn't know and just thought he was a smart-ass guy in a hot car showing off. And that's the real danger with police officers, is when they do stuff like that, because what they're really doing is they're being judge and jury instead of saying, hey, what's going on here? Who are you? You're a Miami Dolphin player? Okay, go ahead and go through.
Or here's your citation for speeding if you want to do that.
Right. I mean, arresting somebody, putting a knee in their back is just over the top. But they are trained to not take any guff either. And, you know, you got to be tough out there on the street. And obviously that officer needs some retraining, because what he should have done is not escalated like Scotty Scheffler's officer. And sometimes you wonder, maybe he did know he was Tyreek Hill and say, watch this. You think you're all that? And what do they say? You're all that in a bag of chips?
No.
So maybe that's what it was. But I thoroughly enjoyed the weekend of college football, not having to worry about it. UNM got the bye week, and let's see if they can go into Auburn. And, the only thing I can think is maybe Auburn is just lower than low and won't be up for UNM, but I have a feeling that they don't want to lose 2 games in a row at home. Yeah. So we're going to get their best shot. And as it should be, let's see what the Lobos can do with a week off.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's where I'm on the Tyreek Hill thing. Like, everything about it looks horrible, and it's going to be a really hard one to justify. But help me get from, all right, you thought he did something so egregious that you had to pull the man out of the vehicle and cuff him and put a knee in his back and put him on the ground, and then, oh wait, never mind. And I guess, the answer could be, well, we thought something happened, whatever it's going to be, then we realized it didn't, and we thought it was a threat, whatever. I just yeah, but to his point, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Big win for them, though.
Yes, it was. Travis Etienne fumbling inside the 5-yard line, and then the
that.
very next play is that 80-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill. His Scotty Scheffler game comes through.
All right, 9 o'clock, Bronco Mendenhall. Lobos go to Auburn this week, coming off the bye week. We'll talk to Lobo football coach about the bye week, what they got out of it, and heading into a trip down to SEC country to play one of college football's big boys. Got to go through college football. How'd the team that the Lobos lost to last week, how'd they do? We got a couple emails on that as well. And I'll give you biggest winners and losers from the NFL weekend when we come back. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, 95.9 FM and AM 630 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Go for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Well, going through that first full weekend of the National Football League and a whole lot to talk about. Cowboy fan, you won, you look good. Your quarterback got paid. Raider fan, you didn't. Your quarterback didn't look good. And wow, Bronco fan, well, I think this is your season. Your quarterback will mature and get better. Got a lot to do. Big game last night. Rams and Lions had a big weekend of college football. Aggies came from ahead. They got beat by Liberty on Saturday night, late 30-24. We got to get into that. Texas and Michigan was quite a statement by Texas. Notre Dame. How about this, JJ? How about if I told you going into what if I told you this? And go ahead and tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
All right. As we sit here this morning, Northern Illinois, who beat Notre Dame 16-14 in South Bend. Northern Illinois has a more direct, and you could even argue better, path to the college football playoff than Notre Dame does.
Because they're in a conference.
Well, they just got a big win. If they beat North Carolina State in 2 weeks, which is not an easy game, so they scheduled in 2 money games, Notre Dame and North Carolina State. I mean, look, I don't know who the best team of the MAC is right now. Bowling Green damn near won in Happy Valley and almost beat Penn State the other day. Had them beat all day long. But if they finish as a one-loss Group of 5 team, let's just say Boise State runs the table. And their one loss was at Oregon by 3 points the other day. And Northern Illinois has one loss, but they won at Notre Dame. Who gets in? Northern Illinois or Boise State? Northern Illinois won at Notre Dame.
We might actually see strength of schedule non-conference matter in that conversation.
Well, and then strength of schedule in conference, too. And I don't know how good the Mountain West is right now. San Diego State's offense looks horrible. Air Force's offense doesn't look good. Wyoming looks not good, right?
Is it that much different than the
MAC? I don't know.
The top, there's a couple teams at the top you can pick out. You have Boise State 3-point loss, and a walk-off field goal at Oregon.
Yeah, they played really well at Oregon, but they didn't win. Right, the result, Northern Illinois,
they got the result.
They got a walk-off win at South Bend. Right,
and they look good. Man, they were physical, line of scrimmage.
They beat Notre Dame. There was no fluke in there. They ran it down their freaking necks. They beat Notre Dame. Flat out physical. So we'll get into that stuff.
So if it's Northern Illinois, that's a game that should get you in the college football playoff.
If
you're a conference champion, you're ranked higher than whoever it may be.
That'll get you.
Should be a reason you're ranked over.
Now, if they lose to NC State and how they look, or if they lose to Ball State somewhere down the line or something like that, I mean, there's a lot of football to go. That's one of those games, man. We'll talk to Jerry Palm about that from CBS on Thursday at 8:30. All right, let me give you. You want biggest winners of the weekend first? You want biggest losers? Where do you want me to start? You like the good stuff or the bad stuff?
I like it all.
All right, let me go. Biggest winners of the weekend. I'll go 3, 2, 1. Honorable mention New England. Just because where the hell that come from, right? And because they're not going to win many, and good for Gerard Mayo, and he kept his sneakers clean when they poured the blue Gatorade on him. Honorable mention New England. Number 3, biggest winner of the weekend was Houston. Because it was a divisional game, a tough game. They took punches, and C.J. Stroud was pressured quite a bit. He was sacked 4 times, but they found a way. And look, man, you added Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs to that. They're good. I thought that was a good, gutsy, solid win to come to hold off and win a division game. So they were number 3. Number 2, we haven't talked about them once yet. Minnesota. Where did that come from? Not only did they win, they kicked the tar out of the Giants on their 100th anniversary celebration. And maybe it was the uniforms that the Giants wore and they had no right to win. But it looked like for a day they've got a quarterback. And when J.J. McCarthy went down, everything, oh no, what are they going to do? And it's freaking Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold went 19-24 at one point. I thought he looked in control. Now, they lose Jordan Addison, but not just because they won the game, but because they won so convincingly. And I don't know if the Giants are that bad or not, but I thought Minnesota got a huge win because they got such good quarterback play. My number 1 winner on the weekend in the National Football League is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Atlanta was maybe a Super Bowl team. Certainly they're the team that wins the South, and they got Kirk Cousins and they got all this offense, and Pittsburgh with their quote unquote backup quarterback. Now they didn't score a touchdown. They kicked 6 field goals, but they went in there and found a way to win, and that's what they do. And I on the road, what were they underdogs, JJ? They were huge dogs in this game, weren't they? They went on the road and found a way to win with a backup quarterback, and I didn't understand who their backup quarterback. It was only 3.5. To me, they were the biggest. That was, I don't want to say the biggest statement because I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys made the biggest statement, or the Saints made a statement that they beat the Panthers. But that they were my biggest winners. And I'm sure there's a lot to pick apart there. But how do you feel about my 3 winners?
I think what we saw from the Pittsburgh Steelers is what Mike Tomlin believed his team could be this season. It's why he was fine with Russell Wilson. It's why he can talk himself into being fine with Justin Fields. That offense was terrible. It was still terrible. Because 3 of those field goals were over 50-yard field goals. They were not moving the football. But they have a championship caliber defense.
Damn, they're good.
Now, I think there were a lot of reminders this weekend in the NFL that rookies can't come in and be C.J. Stroud. That it's going to take some time, even when it's hyped. You have Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winners coming in. Got some work to do. But also, when you tear your Achilles, modern medicine is fantastic.
We're going to watch one tonight.
But Kirk Cousins looked like a statue. Yes, he was under pressure a lot by that defense, but that's not a makeshift patchwork cheap offensive line that's in front of him. They've invested in paid players, and it's going to take some time for Kirk Cousins to get comfortable because seeing some of the post-game breakdown as well, people are saying they've never seen a quarterback move less than Kirk Cousins did, even in the pocket yesterday, so that's going to take some time. But the Steelers, that's what they do. They find a way, regardless of the situation offensively. C.J. Stroud in Indianapolis, that's what you're going to see in those AFC South battles because Anthony Richardson, it's boom or bust. There's no in between right now.
Man, does he have an arm?
Yeah, he has a cannon.
Goodness gracious.
And that's going to just be it's development with him this season, because you look at that box score and he completed 9 passes. He can't 9 of 19.
Yeah.
Like their offense is boom or bust. And that's still the biggest thing, is seeing him evolve into a 3-level passer in this. But CJ Stroud picking up where he left off, no turnovers, efficient in the passing game. They gave Joe Mixon 30 carries, by the way, in that game. That is really gigantic number. So you have Nico Collins downfield, Tank down underneath. Stephon Diggs is going to be a 3rd down touchdown machine in short yardage situations. So I'm there with you. Anytime you can get an early division win, it's big time.
All right, let me give you my 3 losers. Honorary mention or honorable mention. The Rams, simply because of the way they lost players, right? Not because they lose to the Lions on the road. It's to me, that's not a gigantic loss. It's a loss, but because Puka Nacua is out and half of their offensive line is out. An honorable mention to Atlanta because of everything we just said. Number 3 biggest loser is the Giants. Now I have them at number 3 because they have some expectations there, but they looked horrible. And they had, Lawrence Taylor was back and Phil Simms was back and everybody was celebrating their 100th anniversary. And this was going to be it. And we got this brand new weapon in Malik Neighbors, and we're going to be, and they went out and got shredded by Sam Darnold. They were horrible. And I don't know if they're number 1 pick horrible because Carolina's still out there, but they were horrible. And they can't look that horrible. Daniel Jones in this make or break year threw for 186 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. They were number 3. Number 2 is Cincinnati. And look, Jamar Chase will get back into whatever Jamar Chase. He's bitter now. He was asked after the game why limited targets. You're gonna have to ask Zach, ask the coach. Then he said he had food poisoning. Joe Burrow looked off. They got beat by a team who, I don't know how you felt going in, but there was a lot of people, if not consensus, that the New England Patriots were the worst team in football. Jacoby Brissett was the guy. Patriots were up 10-0 in the first half. They finished +2 in the turnover differential, and the Patriots out physicaled the Cincinnati Bengals. That's a problem. And my number 1 biggest loser was the Browns. That game wasn't as close as the score was, and it was not close, 33-17. The Cowboys did everything they wanted offensively in the first half against this vaunted defense, coasted down the stretch, and Deshaun Watson, I don't know how much more you have to see. JJ, earlier in the show, you called it, I'm not arguing with you, that this is going to end up being the worst trade in the history of football because it goes along with the worst contract in the history of the game. $230 million guaranteed for a guy who looks like he'd rather be on the massage table. Like they're to me, they're the biggest loser of the weekend. You got discrepancy with what I got?
I don't. I think the Giants, one is the realization that Daniel Jones is the guy that we thought he was, and he had his one banner year, took the Giants to the playoffs, won a playoff game,
got paid,
but it's reluctant, and he doesn't want to throw the football downfield. He tucks it in runs too soon. The Giants invested in a pass rush a lot. Brought in Brian Burns, and Sam Darnold was expected to be efficient. I think that's exactly what Minnesota is looking for out of Sam Darnold.
If they can get that every week, they're thrilled. They're thrilled, right?
Absolutely. They're efficient, make some big plays. Aaron Jones is solid in the run game. But, man, the Giants is just more of the same. You're expecting, all right, Brian Daboll, can he get back to year one? Nope. And you wonder after this season if that ownership group is going to give Brian Daboll a chance with a different quarterback.
No, they're not. If they go like they looked yesterday, no. And I think Belichick, who came out this week, which is no surprise. Really? Bill Belichick wants to coach again? Really? Like, he's going to have his choice. And it might be the Eagles. It might be there. It might be Jacksonville. Because, look, Jacksonville could be on this list, too.
In fact,
I had him on. I crossed them off.
It's highlighted by the fumble by Travis Etienne, but it was second half drives that Trevor Lawrence and the offense couldn't get going. Turning the football over, punting the football, a chance to put the Dolphins away, and they let them stay in the game, and Miami made the plays.
Yeah, and I didn't put them on the list because they were 3.5-point dogs, so they lost. It's hard for me to say it's one of the biggest losses because they lost to a team that was 3.5-point favorites and they were on the road. But holy smokes, another come-from-ahead loss that was really, really tough. And you start to wonder, okay, Trevor Lawrence at some point is going to have to figure it out in big moments too. So that's what I got for you. Love to hear your thoughts, biggest winners and losers of the weekend. I got a bunch of NFL comments from you. We'll hit that. 8:30, I want to get into the college stuff over the weekend because, wow, what a weekend in college football as well. 505-246-0610. When we come back, Baker Mayfield, all he keeps doing is winning. At some point, he's got to get his flowers as well. Hey, property crime in this town is real. You get it. You understand it. It's rising. Not enough police officers. That's why I use IPS. I've had IPS, International Protective Service, protect my home for years. I know you've seen them at businesses all around town. If it's not you, it's your neighbors who use IPS. And if it's not you, I know you know someone who's been broken into. Look, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. And that's why IPS is so important. Protect what you've worked so hard to build. They respond to alarms within 5 to 7 minutes, alarms that they monitor. Police may take hours. There's just not enough of them. IPS provides standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they'll install alarms, camera systems. They got a state-of-the-art facility that monitors those cameras 24/7. It raises the security around your home and business. So you're not there all the time. Who's watching your place? Don't let it be the bad guys. Call IPS, protect what you have worked so hard to build. The number's 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They are online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people.
Difficult is betting. I picked the Bengals to beat the Patriots in both of my survivor pools before the Higgins news. I didn't mind losing $50 entry fee for one, but the $200 fee lost for my second pool made me want to vomit. I should have just donated $250 to a good cause. I'm gonna guess. Do you think it's too high to say 50% of survivor pools are probably on that list yesterday?
Yeah, well, we have at least ESPN stat.
Yeah,
it was 30%.
30%
of their survivor entries were done because of that game.
God, it feels low. What would the other big one would have been? Probably Bills over Cardinals was probably big, right? And Saints over Panthers. As far as survivor pool stuff, maybe Buccaneers over Commandos. But yeah, 30% almost seems light to me. That felt like the easy pick, didn't it?
No, I think some of that too is why it was only 30%.
Yeah.
Because if it feels too easy, then
is.
that's a situation where people might step away from it.
Yeah, because it is. All right, let's go. I got a bunch of emails. It's going all the way back through the weekend too. All right, let me before I hit the college stuff. There's a lot of stuff on college. All right. Why we love this game, Jeff. Why we Jones for it, Maurice says. A long, cold winter, Jeffrey. Wish we could be at the warm sports stadium drinking overpriced beer. 12 games left. You still have 8 fan bases in the OD this morning saying they could run the table and nab the final PCL tournament spot. Final homestand of the week, or of the year for the Isotopes. And we'll get into that later. Carl, question for Bronco. Jeff, that Arizona quarterback looked so good the week before, was running for his life most of the night against 1AA Flapjacks defense. That was Northern Arizona. And that wide receiver was boxed in every time they tried to get him the rock. What lessons did he learn from Northern Arizona? Northern Arizona lost to Arizona, what was it, 22-10? I guess McMillan, the wide receiver, had like 2 catches. What's the truth? Arizona was, are they the team that scored 61 against the Lobos or 22 against Northern Arizona?
The truth is sports.
So true. It's so true. All right, let me hit you on this. Lobo Hobo says, can Lobo football shock the world, Jeffy? Did Auburn blow your socks off Saturday? No. Did you think, wow, with the team Coach Freeze put together, no way Lobo football can beat them? Cal beat Auburn over the weekend. The score was 21-14. Cal, that team that kind of found a conference at the very end, an ACC team in Cal. That's right. Cal is in the ACC now. Goes down to Auburn. Actually, that was at Auburn. Cal's got San Diego State this week, who may not score all year. I didn't see any of the game. Did you see any of the Auburn game?
Auburn didn't knock anyone's socks off, but do we think the Lobos could get 4 interceptions in a game? Do we think the Lobos could cut the big plays in half. Because Auburn turned the ball over 5 times. 4 interceptions and a fumble. So is there opportunity? Absolutely.
4 interceptions, man. Peyton Thorne threw 4 interceptions.
For the Lobos, it starts with cutting the big plays in half.
Yep.
And go from there and see what you can do in the second half.
Dan says, Dan feels great, Jeffrey and Juan Jose. When Dan picked Lobo football -2.5, that was before I knew the Aztecs sucked. Wyoming just lost at 7,200 to an FCS team with a third-string quarterback. And what's going on with Troy Calhoun's guys? There's 3 wins right there. I mean, easy. I don't know that you got 3 wins. You get those are games I think you realize that you can play in. And by later in the season, when the Lobos are playing San Diego State, Wyoming, and Air Force, can they be better? Because you got to think those teams will be better. I'll tell you, look, Wyoming losing to Idaho is a problem at home. Now, that's an Idaho team that went up and played Oregon really tough. Air Force scoring 7 points is almost unheard of. And San Diego State's offense looked, I mean, just reprehensible. And now they fumbled going in. The quarterback fumbled at the 1-yard line going in to make it a 7-7 game. And then it got away from them against Oregon State. They didn't score a point.
They had 179 yards total.
I know, dude. They were going like literally fumbled at the goal. Like it looked like he was in. And as he was back in, the ball got popped out.
So that prevents you from scoring the rest of the game?
No. I'm not telling you that. No, they're
Oregon State.
How did I preface that? Their offense was horrible.
Oregon State. This is one where it really was. They just took the air out of the game. They had the ball for 41 minutes to San Diego State's 18. They're just like, we're going to slow this down, possess, not worried about exposed plays. And this is an Aztecs team that they were saying the Aztecs want to run 80 plays a game. Like, you don't have that personnel yet.
No, you don't. He wants to go fast, and he goes 3 and out, and he gives it back right back, and then they plod down the field on you. Yeah,
and it's coming off a week 1 performance where Cooper had 270 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. Like, that's still kind of who they are right now.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
And you look at if we talked about it last week. If Lobo fans can hang in there, because you don't know what this is going to look like. They're 28-point underdogs going into Auburn, and they could make it a game. Just like they did at Arizona. Still ended up losing.
Is it 28? Is that what the number is?
Yeah, the number's 28.
Yeah.
This weekend at Auburn. So a lot of people might be jumping on the Lobos because they've covered the last 2 games. But the Mountain West is not good at the bottom. And this is one where Wyoming losing Craig Bull, there's a bit of a difference.
You
that
think?
team doesn't have that same edge. Just the offense has been a disaster. First 2 weeks, you expected to at least run the football. You have a running quarterback. Not seeing any of that. And for Air Force, Troy Calhoun was finally right. It's when you replace 4 of your 5 offensive linemen, you have a brand new quarterback running the option offense. They're struggling.
Yeah. Wyoming had 126 yards throwing the football, and 144 yards rushing, and got beat at home. Mountain West over the weekend, Boise State loses to Oregon on a last-second field goal in Eugene. The 7th-ranked Ducks win 37-34. Utah State went to USC, lost to the 13th-ranked Trojans 48-0, and this was total domination. 191 yards of total offense. Actually, 190 yards total offense for Utah State. SC just was better in every phase and dominated them. I think there's 3 good teams. I think Boise State's one of them. I know UNLV is one of them. They beat Utah Tech 72-14. You're going to say big deal. They beat Utah Tech, and you're right. And they beat the week before. They beat Houston on the road, open up the season.
That's what you're supposed to do against
Utah Tech.
Average FCS teams.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think UNLV is good. Now, they get tested a little bit the next couple of weeks. Next 3. They go to Kansas next week. Then they get Fresno State at home after a bye, and then they get Syracuse. And Oregon State and Boise State are coming in a couple of weeks. So you're going to get a good feel. But
good games. Syracuse, Kyle McCord, the Ohio
beat Georgia Tech the other day.
He had a really good game.
Wow, I mean, that was a stunner. Beat Georgia Tech, who was undefeated. I say 2-0. Idaho wins in Laramie. They beat Wyoming 17-13. Conference game. San Jose State goes into Colorado Springs, beat Air Force 17-7. Colorado State got their first win. They beat Northern Colorado 38-17. Georgia Southern, I told you that'd be a good game. They beat Nevada in Reno 20-17. Fresno State beat up on Sacramento State 46-30. Beat up's probably not fair. And then Oregon State wins in San Diego, beat the Aztecs 21-0. The Aztecs had 179 yards of total offense in a game where they just, I mean, it was 7-0 going to the fourth, and Oregon State wins. So not a good weekend for the Mountain West. Next week, you got some opportunities coming up. UNLV's at Kansas, Nevada's at Minnesota. Good luck, Utah State hosting Utah. New Mexico goes to Auburn. Air Force is at Baylor. Colorado State this weekend. BYU's in Laramie. Cal is hosting San Diego State. And the Aggies, you interested in the Aggies of Fresno State?
Yes.
Aggies look good for three quarters. Aggies,
that defense was fantastic.
Look, when we come back, we're going to talk about this because the Aggies were teed up for a win that, and I know they've had 2 good years, that was ready to take them to the next level. And they let it slip away. We'll get into that next in the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Fall is a great time for making.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
For the National Football League tonight, Jets 49ers wrapping up week number 1 of the NFL season. The return of Aaron Rodgers. Our Jets feels good. The fans gonna feel tomorrow. You talked about the return of Kirk Cousins coming off the Achilles injury, and it's great, man, when you don't have live dudes trying to knock you down, coming at you, running around your feet. We'll see how he looks and how mobile he is. And I think everybody's interested in watching Aaron Rodgers and the Niners tonight. 505-246-0610. JJ, I said something before the break. New Mexico State has been to 2 straight bowl games. New Mexico State played in the Conference USA Championship game last year in their first year in that league. I thought, as I was watching them play Liberty the other night, they were up 10-3 after 1. They were up 17-9 going into the fourth quarter. I thought this was a game that takes them to the next level. Liberty has been by far the best team in that league, and I say by far. They beat the Aggies twice last year. They went to the Fiesta Bowl as the Group of 5 representative in the New Year's 6 bowl games. They are, along with Boise State, maybe Texas State. Maybe you could throw Northern Illinois in now. The favorites for the Group of 5 representation in the college football playoff. They were 22-point favorites on the road in Las Cruces on Saturday night. 22 points. And the Aggies had that damn game won and let it slip away. It was a scoop and score. Parker Awad got hit. the Aggie quarterback, and they returned a fumble for a touchdown to Liberty. And then Quentin Cooley went nuts with 2 long touchdown runs in the fourth quarter. I thought the Aggies got super conservative offensively. JJ, they couldn't move the ball in the second half. Their defense was really, really good for 3.5 quarters. But do you think I'm saying too much that this would have put New Mexico State, this was a next level kind of win for them if they'd have beaten the big bad bullies in their league?
Because they were not supposed to do that with this year's roster.
Mm-hmm.
With the turnover, fact that your quarterback was the reigning SEC Offensive Player of the Week for Vanderbilt.
For another team. Yeah. Yeah.
And what they did defensively was awesome. But then you go, and we'll talk to Coach Tony Sanchez about it tomorrow. He was aggressive all game. He went for it on 4th down in his own territory.
Twice, late in the game.
But then you get to the fourth quarter. 4th and 3 at the Liberty 46, and you just had the punt. And then ensuing possession, Flames drive it right down the field and score a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the defense got tired. Look, Caden Salter is real. And the Liberty quarterback is back. Then and the announcers kept asking, where's Quentin Cooley? Where's Quentin Cooley? Their best running back. Well, Quentin Cooley came out in the fourth quarter and busted 2 long runs. JJ, just a huge, and I say missed opportunity. I'm not going to call this, somebody already sent me the choke word. I'm not calling it that. When you're a 22-point dog at home against, a team like that, it's hard for me to say you choked. But they did come from ahead with a game that I thought that they had well in hand. And I did think for 3 quarters they were the better team on the football field.
Yeah, I'm with you. Choke is an egregious loss. Like, this was bad when you have a fourth quarter lead. But when you are the underdog in that game and you let it slip away, I don't feel it was like a choke. Like, choking is like it's 80-90% of collapse meter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that when you watch that game?
No, I mean, there was some collapse to it.
There always is.
Yeah.
But I think a choke is like 80-90% where you give it away. Now, when you can be convinced that it's pretty high when you talk about how the game turned, which is a scoop and score fumble.
Mm-hmm.
And then no defense late in the contest and being so aggressive all night long. Yeah. And then with the game on the line, decided to punt the football.
Yeah, no. And we'll ask Tony that question tomorrow. Why? I think in this stretch where they are, right, with they got Liberty, Fresno State, then it's Sam Houston, New Mexico, and Jacksonville State. They got to go to Fresno State this week. It's a true TV game, 8:30 at night on Saturday. JJ, if they would have won that game, we'd be having a whole nother conversation about New Mexico State right now, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. Yes, it's one of those early season games that,
and this was a conference
perspective,
game, but a conference game that would have changed perspective, right? It would have really swung the power shift perceived, because Jacksonville State feels like they're not nearly as good in that league, and it's Liberty and everybody else. And if you would have beaten them early in the year and set the tone, you would have had a whole nother conversation about New Mexico State. Now, let me tell you this: they're better than I thought. Their defense is way better than I thought they were going to be. I watched them shut down a really good offense for 3.5 quarters until they got worn down. Now you got to close. And so good on you for playing 3 quarters of a game, right? But weren't you, like, as you were watching that and watching Liberty struggle, weren't you really impressed with their defense?
Yes. That was the biggest wow factor to me, is what they did to Liberty until the fourth quarter.
And then it got away. Yeah, Aggie fan, you can get in on that, because that was the one that almost happened. That was I got a Jason email, and I'll hit it when we get back. But that was one that, I'll tell you what, man. That was one that would have put you just at that next level. That would have been all right. Jerry Kill's gone. Tony Sanchez is here. Look what we just did to the biggest, baddest team in our league. And by the way, the team, now granted they got smoked in the Fiesta Bowl, but this is a team that might have the most direct path, because they don't play anybody, Liberty. They may have the most direct path to the college football playoff of any group of 5 team. Their non-conference schedule, they play Campbell, East Carolina, They play a game at Appalachian State, which will be interesting, and Massachusetts. I mean, at some point, don't they have to go out and play somebody? This was last year's deal too. I mean, at some point, don't they have to, like? I'm going to ask you this, and because this may be a real conversation. A once defeated Boise State, whose one loss would have been on the last second field goal in Eugene, up against an undefeated Liberty who runs that schedule, who goes in, who's your conference champion to represent the group of five in the playoff. It's got to be Boise State, doesn't it? I mean, what about a Northern Illinois who would have maybe lost to North Carolina State but won at Notre Dame and runs the MAC table? We'll have that conversation. Jerry Palma. That's a good conversation for Jerry on Thursday. 505-246-0610. Bronco Mendenhall, 9 o'clock this morning in 15 minutes right here on the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great.
Animal. Text line on New Mexico State and Liberty says fact that MSU's strength of schedule last year 131 of 133, and what is Liberty's strength of schedule this year? We're willing to bet it's not better than Mighty, or it is better than Mighty 131. All right. I mean, if that's a fact, that's a fact. I don't know. Should I downplay Liberty? Are they not very good? Is that kind of the point? I'm not sure I understand. Are they not as good as Montana State? Oh, did I?
Yeah, at this point, like New Mexico State went out there and won games, and no one cared about the strength schedule other than that one texter constantly.
Yeah,
there was a 10-win season for the Lobos, and they had a terrible strength schedule. I wouldn't care because the amount of time I'm sitting here trying to talk about the Lobos and cover games.
So
winning 10 games would be fantastic.
Good morning, OD. Says, win or lose, we wobble in our shoes. For 58 minutes plus, Aggie football looked like they had become the class of Conference USA. Even in a seemingly down year, the football pedigree of the football school down south surely would allow for the Aggies to hold on to the lead and send the few thousand who stuck around well past the bewitching hour home with a W. However, the only W was in wobble as fans watched the Aggies, who lack a passing game that can move the chains consistently, give back a fourth quarter lead and open conference season with an L. That L is for Liberty, who came in and ripped the heart out of the Aggies. The takeaway is the defense played its arse off. The issue is going to be consistently moving the ball through the air. The fact that the Aggies don't have a passing attack that the service academies would be envious of is going to be a hindrance to the success of this edition of Aggie football. I'm curious what Coach Sanchez will do to fix this. Well, c'est la vie, crimsonly, Jason. It's a very tame Jason email, don't you think? But, I mean, he's not wrong in any of it. They're going to have to throw the football, aren't they? I don't know if it's AWOD or what they're going to do, but...
That's the biggest question mark after these first two games on the offense.
You know, what's the spread this week? Have you seen it? You're going to guess it before I look. They're at Fresno State. I have a number in my mind. I'm not looking yet. I'm saying they're 17.5-point dogs.
Okay.
What are you saying?
13.5.
20.
Woo!
20. They were 22-point dogs at home to Liberty. They covered. All right, Lobos are going to Auburn this week. They're 28-point dogs as of now. They will play a Auburn team who just got beat by Cal. Coming off a bye week is the University of New Mexico. Their head coach is Bronco Mendenhall. He is scheduled to join us next. We'll talk to Bronco Mendenhall about the bye week and taking on Auburn. When we return, it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
JJ Bach. Well, trip to SEC country is what's coming up next for the University of New Mexico Lobo football team. It'll be a 5:30 game on Saturday. It's 5:30 our time. ESPN2. Find a way to find it. You got DirecTV. Down at Auburn. It's opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Lobos coming off a bye week. They will have 3 of those this season. Of course, the week prior, they lose 61-39 at Arizona. The conversation with Bronco Mendenhall is sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. For 4 decades, Rudy has been helping New Mexicans through legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500. As we have for Bronco Mendenhall, Lobos coming off an early bye week, and this is an oddity, obviously, that to play 2 games and then have the week off. The week off hopefully helped get them healthy. Nothing, huh? I got the reminder to call too. I did. Frank gave me the reminder to call, so we're working on getting Bronco for you. Coming off of the loss at Arizona, JJ, I look at this. They're playing an Auburn team who's stinging. And I got to believe an Auburn team that there's, fan base right now around Hugh Freeze. Their last 2 conference games at home, they've lost. New Mexico State beat them last year. Their non-conference games, I mean. And then Cal, a ACC team, but a not very highly regarded one going in, beat them yesterday or Saturday. The score was 21-14. Auburn turned the ball over 5 times. Peyton Thorne, their quarterback, threw 4 interceptions. And so what is Auburn as you go into them? Well, they're a really, really talented team. Nick Saban on game day on Saturday said that he thought Auburn was going to be the surprise of the SEC. That he thought, and for Nick Saban to be saying good things about Auburn was, makes you think that they're going to be something. But he was very, very praiseful, if that's a word. Had a lot of high praise for what Hugh Freeze and Auburn are. Now, the previous week, they put 73 points on the board. They played Alabama A&M and put 73 on them. So we'll watch what they are. This is, I think, in a lot of respects for you, as you sit where you are, much more about New Mexico, right, than it is about Auburn. The progress not only of your young quarterback, but I think a defense, how are they going to be able to stop a run? How are they going to be able, can they take the ball away from Peyton Thorne, who threw 4 interceptions on Saturday at home against the Cal team? They turned the ball over 5 times. So what is your defense? You're going to have to slow them down a bit, right? You're going to have to stop an Auburn team that scored 73 in week 1 and just 14 in week 2. And then can you find ways to put points on the board, right? Did you get better? Is your running game whenever you go to SEC country, whenever you play a team like this, it's a trenches game. How big are you? How good are you up front? Because you know they are going to be good. Bronco Mendenhall is in his first year as the head coach at the University of New Mexico as the Lobos come off of a bye week. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Bronco. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
How was the bye week?
Oh, man. Seems like we haven't played for about a month. Lots goes on in the bye week, especially this early. It's the first time I think in my career I've had a bye this early. But certainly our team needed it. We were fairly beat up after the Arizona game. Good chances to also do a quick analysis, 2-game analysis on where we are, and then do extra work on upcoming opponents, as well as, get extra practice in for players that need it.
Probably
so lots of improvement.
Yeah, probably something, as you said, new for you, because I would imagine when you have a bye week, week 6, 7, 8, whatever, there's a lot to evaluate, and really it's a 2-week evaluation. And so how much is it more evaluation or more preparation?
More preparation. There's a quick evaluation, really reconfirming what we believed we already know. So it gives you a little bit longer just to ensure that areas that are weak can be targeted, and just to validate and verify that. Same thing with areas of strength, as well as some personnel evaluations to make sure after a 2-game sample, that is what we think. So the sample size is pretty small, but verification, validation, and just a little more certainty than what you normally have going into Game 3, which at this point in the program, again, I haven't had one this early that I remember, but there's 2 others coming, so some new things this year for sure.
Yeah, you said it validate. What did it validate for you?
A capable football team that's not yet consistent. So we're improving, I think, in a lot of areas. Some significant areas need to be targeted for sure that are kind of in the way of the next step. But you see personnel growth, you see schematic growth. So I would say that you see capacity and capability, lacking consistency, some areas more than others. Within, once you frame those 2 things, a real opportunity for increased commitment and preparation for those areas and from those areas once the team and coaches have seen it. And so that's what I framed to our team.
No, Coach, when you're on the outside and we're watching the game and we're consuming it, we don't know the play calls, we don't know the responsibility, but when you look at those moments, especially in the Arizona game that you mentioned, that you saw some positive defensive plays, what are happening in those situations that are matching up versus giving up some of the big plays?
Yeah, really that's it. The assignment and execution and precision that's happening on, maybe the 60 to 65 to maybe even 70% of the plays is at a high level. But then on about the 30-ish and maybe 6 of the 8 quarters that the defense has played so far, then you'll see giant plays and plays that, quite frankly, concentration mistakes, assignment mistakes, execution mistakes, that the margin for error is really small and the points that go on the board really fast. And most of that is so controllable, which I think is why the team is more encouraged and more optimistic than ever, because they see what's controllable, and that their preparation, their concentration, and their execution is really determining the outcome of the 2 types of plays that you just mentioned.
Lobo head football coach Bronco Mendenhall joining us on the opening drive. And you look at that Arizona game, and you suffered some secondary injuries early. You had a starting linebacker that was ejected from the game due to targeting, and those hurt the communication. But what did you learn from players that had to step up?
It's a lot, and especially at this stage in our program, each personnel change. Wow, does it make a difference, as you just mentioned, in terms of chemistry and communication? And especially in the back end or in the run fits, that makes a difference. And so in both of our first games, a backup corner coming in, a giant play happens almost immediately, just simply by assignment or execution. And that, again, the chemistry, the communication, but also the readiness. And so the roster is fairly thin right now. There's a significant difference between a starting player and a backup player, and wow, does it show up immediately. In terms of the real positive, we got exceptional corner play by Noah Pola-Gates, and came in as due to an injury, and not only played great in special teams, but even though there was significant yardage given up to a very good receiver, he did a really nice job on the outside, as well as Bryson Taylor. So our corner play actually held up really well. Most of the yards were happening inside versus safeties and or others.
How are you health-wise then, coming off of the bye week going into Auburn?
Not ideal, but I think by the time we play Auburn, it'll be as close to what you would hope maybe in Game 3 as you can be. Again, the roster is thin currently. That's just the stage of the program. There's a significant difference between a starter and a backup. What it does kind of alter the planning, right, is who's playing with whom during the week in preparation and practice. And the more you can have the same 11 playing with the same 11, adjusting to, especially like a team like Auburn, where they're shifting and motioning and unique formations, and a skilled play caller that tries to, manipulate and put players in certain positions and try to get mismatches. The more you can have those guys playing together, the better. But that's also part of the game and part of building a program is some of the injuries that happen and the roster management. So we're right in the middle of that, even though it's early in the season. That's going to be a challenge really moving forward for sure.
All right, talk about them a little bit. Big, physical, skilled SEC team, an incredible atmosphere. Now, they're coming off a loss. In fact, they've lost their last 2 non-conference games at home. They turned the ball over 5 times last week. Their quarterback, Peyton Thorne, threw 4 interceptions. Did you see anything that Cal did? Was it pressure? Was it looks? Was it schematic? Anything that maybe they did that you can use to maybe turn the ball over a little bit?
I would just say it was more self-imposed. A former staff member of mine and former player of mine is on Cal staff, and so we communicated and also watched the game. This will be my 4th time. Again, I'm on it right now, watching each side. But really, just some, decision-making at quarterback. He has the ability to create, run, and throw. And so there was a tipped pass. But there's also just some decisions that the ball was a little bit errant, or he's hit right as he was throwing it. But turnovers were absolutely the difference in that game. That game was dead even, and as you mentioned, Auburn turns it over more times than Cal does. And even with that, both defenses played well, and so turnovers were the difference.
What's the message?
And usually that's controlled by quarterback play.
Yeah, no, that's right. What's the message to your club? This is. People talk about a team like yours who's trying to find themselves going into an atmosphere like that. And there's always the word opportunity. And I always love that because the student athletes get to play in an environment they don't get to play in every week. But certainly the uptick in class, your opposition is very, very good. Mm-hmm. So what's the message this week to them?
I'd like the word that you used, which is how I've already framed it, opportunity. And there is... in my mind, right, and it's certainly idealistic by many, but realistic by me. I think each game is winnable, and our execution, our effort, our determination, our unity, our progress will play out exactly as we've earned it in practice, regardless of the setting. What better chance to go play a college football game, and where would you rather play it against whom? And that's, just the next real challenge, but also a real opportunity to grow our program, and that's how it's being framed.
Do you point out any things like New Mexico State winning there last year, or Northern Illinois going to South Bend this week and winning there? Do you point those games out, or do you not look at those at all and say, this is just our situation?
More of the second. I think our team loves college football, and they're aware of who's beating who and how that works. What I have pointed out is, and some of the turnarounds that have happened in college football, New Mexico State being one of them, San Jose State, that was relevant when we were talking about playing Arizona. There were times where those teams were either 0-5 or 1-5 or 1-6. San Jose started, I think it was 1-4, 1-5. You'll have to look at that. And then that losing a coin flip for the conference championship. And so it's every game all season long until it's over. And that really determines outcome. And so, it's really easy. And so many of us want to race to conclusions after one game, after 2 games, or their team is this, or their team is that, where really it's a work in progress each and every week, shaping, molding, becoming, and the resiliency and the fortitude and the opportunities that we just talked about. That ends up being, and how that's framed and how you leverage those ends up determining the outcome over time. And so, lots of opportunity, lots of work ahead for us. Certainly some areas that are just glaringly have to improve, and others that are, I think, climbing maybe a little faster than what we thought.
I've tried to look back. Have you ever coached against Hugh Freeze before?
I have, yeah. Our last time, 2019, he brought Liberty into Virginia, 50-something to 20-something. We won. Virginia won. Skilled play caller, innovative scheme, very good coach. That would be the one and only time. Again, 2019, Liberty came to Virginia.
All right, we'll go get them this week. It's a great opportunity for the program, long trip, and a good week of preparation. Always appreciate the conversation. Safe travels and good luck down at Auburn, Bronco.
Hey, Thanks for the chance. We'll see you later.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Bronco Mendenhall, global football coach. Conversation with Bronco Mendenhall, sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal care and the attention you deserve for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500. A lot in there. And the word validation was used. And the reason I asked the question, I'll explain when we come back, but you can respond to what you heard from Bronco next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
time. And I think you'll always take a week off to rest and get healthy. And in football, you're always going to have injuries. He said a few times it validated what they are. And I asked, what did it validate? And basically said, they're capable, but they're not complete. They're not there yet. That they're coming along. He used the word thin, and going into a game like this, being thin, meaning not a lot of depth, is something that's concerning. But it's a coach that's got pretty good perspective on what's going on. And I know in some respects, Lobo fan is going to say, yeah, I've heard it before. But I think it's worth listening to, at least for a little bit. And while the season may not be off to the start you wanted, and the Montana State loss was disappointing, JG, they look like a team that's headed in the right direction. Now I'll tell you, last year at the end, I thought that team was headed in the right direction too. Okay. I thought when they beat Fresno State and had the Utah State game at the end, and I thought that team was headed in the right direction also. But listen to where he is. I think his perspective is pretty good. I don't know, man. What do you expect going into Auburn? Because I don't know what I think Auburn is or is not at this point.
I had low expectations for these two games.
Oh.
I think that you have to let your eyes tell you a story and you adjust. I'm more positive about the offense than I thought I was going to be. Even with Devin Dampier and the high expectations, he's been better than I thought he could be, just looking electric and explosive as a dual threat player. Defense is actually worse than I expected. I given the experience they brought back, at least at the defensive tackle positions and a couple of the edge rushers, thought they'd be a little bit more stout there. But I think that's one of the hardest things to figure out is when you have a struggling secondary, I'm finding pieces to make that unit much better. But it's if you can hang on, there's a lot of teams that are like the Lobos right now that are still trying to figure it out, which should give New Mexico opportunities to play competitive games and pick off some Mountain West wins.
And when you start looking later in the season and look where some of the other teams are in your league, when you say, all right, you've got coming up on your schedule, you've got a San Diego State, or you've got New Mexico State isn't unbeatable. Their defense looked really good. Fresno State's going to be tough, but Air Force, Colorado State, Wyoming, there's games on there that you say, all right, and that'll make you feel better going towards the back end. And then who knows, man? Can you be competing for bowl eligibility towards the end, and you'll figure it out. But it's an interesting time for the bye. Health-wise, it's going to be interesting, especially, JJ, I'm thinking defensively, aren't you?
Yes. When you look at, the secondary, and, Cam Watts only playing 5 snaps against Arizona, but you got Noah Avenger, all 57 defensive snaps. Bryson Taylor out there for 55. Pola Gates stepping up, as Bronco mentioned, with 50 snaps. So their rotation's pretty set and tight in the secondary. It's just about making plays.
Yeah, staying healthy. All right, 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line and our text line. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. I want to get into, we'll get back in the NFL. Let me hit you with a couple of these before we hit this break. Jack wants to know, how did the Aztecs get so bad so fast? He says, you're playing a Pac-12 team in your new gym, and it looks like a University Stadium empty. It was pretty disappointing, that crowd, wasn't it? Just to look at that new stadium and that place. And, for a school that feels that they're getting robbed not being in a power conference, they kind of got to show up a little bit for football, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And they were losing in the third quarter to Texas A&M Commerce in game 1. They got Cal this week. They got Oregon State last week, and they didn't score a point at home. This is the wrong time to be going the wrong way in football, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I understand that they're really good in basketball. And, JJ, they were, for a decade, Rocky Long was there, wasn't he? As consistent as anybody in the Mountain West Conference. But how'd they get that bad that quick, Jack? I don't know. But they looked horrible. Dan says biggest loser of the week was Micah John, Trevor Lawrence, and that team. He got paid, but he continues to look average in Jacksonville. He's got to figure it out too, man. The pressure's going to hit him really, really, really quickly. Don't you think?
The pressure.
Everybody.
I agree with that statement, but then it's also like, what does that mean? Like, you just paid him in the offseason. Yeah. He's going to get more than just this season to win those games. The only quarterback that has a gigantic contract that I could see getting axed after this year is Deshaun Watson, because it's just bad.
Really bad. Really, really, really bad. Did Montana State win again this weekend? Did they beat somebody? Because I just got an email. What they're the Big Sky? Because I just got a text on them or an email on them, and I wanted to figure it out where it's coming from. I don't know. It says Montana State looks like a great loss. Bobcats could win the Mountain West if they were in your league. Not sure that they beat somebody.
They beat Maine.
Okay. Good for them. Big.
The Bobcats are 3-0 to start the season with wins over Maine, Utah Tech, and New Mexico.
Okay. All right. Sure love Notre Dame going down, Jeffers, but seeing Neon Deion suck is just as satisfying. That's from Bourne. Boy, did Nebraska handle them. I mean, Nebraska handled them. And it's all about up front, man. You know, they're playing in that Big 12, and everybody's telling me they got a real good chance. Big 12 tends to have really good lines, right? Both offensively and defensively up front. Colorado does not.
The only people saying Colorado has a good chance are people that want to be contrary to any criticism of Deion Sanders.
Well,
be like, you got to believe in prime time. He's so good. He can be a great dude to his players. He hasn't taken that program forward in terms of what their problems were. It's the same exact thing. No protection for Shedeur. The defense was actually okay, only giving up 28 points with as much as they had to be on the field.
They were on the field a lot.
Because the Colorado offense could not muster up anything against Nebraska.
Yeah, it's not helping his draft stock either. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into this Deshaun Watson. And JJ just said he might be the one that gets released. Evidence that would suggest it might be the worst trade in the history of the NFL. What they gave up and some of the crazy numbers. Is it the worst trade ever? Man, that's saying something. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
There's still time to get in the game. Underdog Fantasy. Over 1 million fans got in the game last year by making their picks on Underdog. And making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. What are we talking about? You go higher or lower on your favorite players' stats, touchdowns, passing yards, and more. So just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code JJBuck, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit it. Pick'em entry is pick 2 players from 2 different teams, look at their stat projections, and go higher or lower. And I said it's never too late to get in the game, because the second half was good for me last night with the Lions and Rams. So you don't have to feel like you missed it if you missed kickoff. There's still a chance to play. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code JJBuck to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. And the stat projections for Monday Night Football are live right now. Plenty of action for you to get in the game. So head over to Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
This is Two Men.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud of your local athletes.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You're wide open until the end of the show. Broncos, Cowboys, Raiders, Dolphins, Rams, whoever you are. Week 1's in the books. Almost. We'll put it in the books tonight. Niners and Jets here on the Sports Animal Monday Night Football. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. So you earlier said, and you're not the only one, the Deshaun Watson trade by the Browns may go down as the worst trade in history of the National Football League. Watson threw 2 interceptions, took 6 sacks yesterday. Browns lose at home to the Cowboys 33-17. They scored a touchdown in the last 20 seconds to make it that close. I had not seen this. This is per CBS Sports' Zach Perlis did some studying. 1,752 occurrences. That's a good sample size, right? A quarterback has thrown at least 10 passes 15 or more yards down the field in a game. Okay? So 10 times he threw the ball 15 yards down the field. At least. How many times in that 1,752 do you think none of those throws were completed? Because yesterday, none of them were completed. And the answer is Deshaun Watson is the only quarterback. Now, look, this is a one-game thing, so I'm not going to kill the guy on one bad game. But if it was only one bad game, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. JJ, Deshaun Watson is the only quarterback in 1,752 occurrences to throw at least 10 passes 15 more yards down the field and not complete a single one of them in a game. I mean, You know how I feel about when these things have never happened. He was 0 for 10 on 15 or more, 0 for 4, 20 more, 3 for 12 and throwing under pressure for 10 yards, and 2 for 9, 13 yards. Like when you start looking what they gave up 6 picks, 3 of them first rounders. And then you look at what the Texans turned that into, and they turned that into basically the core of their team. Oh, and they guaranteed this guy $230 million. And he wasn't available for most of the first year, and and last year he got hurt, and he's been not good when he's played. I mean, let it play out, but it is trending towards the worst trade in the history of football.
The injury ramped up, the shoulder situation, the passing was bad. You know the line has issues because the Browns are without their two starting tackles, but there's not a lot to hang your hat on when it comes to Deshaun Watson, thinking that he's going to be able to be anywhere near the player that we saw before things started to unravel for him on and off the field.
I know that we talk a lot about distractions and off-field stuff and how much does it affect. Was it not playing for basically, he sat out the whole year with Houston. Then he sat out most of a year. So he sat out the better part of a year and a half, almost 2 years. He was really good, dude. Before this whole massage sexual assault thing came out, I'm not diminishing it by saying that. I hope it doesn't go across that way. But before all the accusations of sexual misconduct it came out, dude was good, right? Really good. That's why they went out and gave him a $230 million contract. What happened? Where did it turn? When you start looking at what the Texans turned this all into, it's their offensive line. It's their defensive line. It's player of the year, Will Anderson. It's a DB. It's a Tank Dell. It's insane. But you wonder how long they're going to go. Jameis Winston's sitting there. You wonder how long they can go. Kevin Stefanski's on the hot seat. He might have been coach of the year last year, but they need to win. All right, 505-246-0610. Robert, you want to talk about Notre Dame. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. Yeah, it's a little off topic, but a Notre Dame game, the most egregious call I've ever seen, and ultimately it didn't cost them the game, but that last first down that was negated, I don't know if you saw it or not, where the Northern Illinois running back, cleared the first down by probably 2 yards. And the referee said they marked it down short of it. Yeah, I did. And even after the video replay, they showed it short, and it was clearly 2 yards ahead, a first down. But they still won, so that's great. Has anybody mentioned that, or did you guys talk about that at all?
No, nobody has. And it was one of those where you're like, come on now. I mean, they got everything stacked against them anyway. Yeah, no, I did see that. It was that was a rough one, but. Give it to NIU. I mean, look, NIU went in there and socked them in the mouth. That wasn't some joke of a win, some sort of little fluke play somewhere along the line. NIU went in there and punched them in the mouth and out-physicaled Notre Dame.
It was enjoyable to watch.
All right, man. See you. Yeah, that was one of those games. Did you watch that? Because that was one that,
yes, I did.
Late in that window, you're like, oh, look what's going on. There were two games going on in that window that were like that. The other one was Bowling Green, Penn State over on the Big Ten Network. And Penn State had to come back and hold off Bowling Green. NIU was nice, physical, defense, bothersome.
It was mistakes that made it look like the refs were trying to give Notre Dame that game or a chance to win that game. The spot that was just mentioned was bad. That was it. NIU got a first down late.
Mm-hmm.
Was not given it. Then they kicked the field goal, convert there, and then the clock should have ran after that, and it didn't, so it saved Notre Dame a timeout.
Yeah. It should have started. Correct.
Then they would have had to call.
Correct. Yeah, this is one of those where you're like, okay, boy, they're going to do everything they can to protect Notre Dame here. And it really, really felt like they were, and fighting out. Like, there's another guy in Freeman. Like, they go down to College Station the week before and win. They've lost at home to Marshall. Yeah, Marshall. They lost this one. There was another one in there that they lost that's kept them out of the national title game. And at that place, you really can't afford to be losing those games. And it's
coming off what was a fantastic win at
Right.
Texas A&M,
Right.
and then to be out physicaled by NAU at home.
And IU. Yeah.
NAU did themselves a good job.
And
Arizona on Saturday.
And AU played pretty well also. All right, we'll wrap it up when we come back. Everything you got to know as you head into the Monday night game. We still have time for you guys to get in on whatever was big for you over the weekend. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Worst trade ever, says Omar. And this is the other one that's right there in contention. It says Jeff Dallas Cowboys have a rich history against Minnesota. October 12, 1989, Coach Jones traded Herschel Walker for everything but the deed to the Metrodome. It had become known as the Great Train Robbery. Coach Jones should be in jail for the way he fleeced the Vikings. Yeah, that's the other one. That's really the two that are the candidates for the worst trade ever. We'll see. But you start looking at what the Texans have turned those draft picks into, and it is the core of a team that went to the playoffs last year and will compete for a division championship this year and maybe more. And on the other side of it is a quarterback who is struggling with everything except for money, because he got $230 million guaranteed. I don't know what the worst one is. You decide. All right, what do you got to know as you go through your day? You got football tonight. Niners, Jets right here on The Sports Animal. What time do we start? 5:45? About? Somewhere right about there. You'll get that. You know what happened yesterday in the NFL. Cowboys were winners 33-17 over the Browns. The Broncos got beat by the Seahawks 26-20 in Bo Nix's debut. And the Tyreek Hill thing, I think we're going to hear some more on that today. I think the police are going to have to come out and say something down in Dade County on what happened and why Tyreek Hill was handcuffed, put on the ground, all of those things. I think we're probably going to hear something about that. And then the new college football poll is out, and Northern Illinois has cracked the poll. Northern Illinois appears to be the only non-power team right now, JJ, in the rankings. They're at number 25 after beating Notre Dame. Number 1 stays the same. It's Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, Ole Miss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Missouri's up to 6. Penn State at 8. Oregon 9. USC moved up to 11. Michigan dropped down to 17. Notre Dame dropped down to 18 after their losses. On the Lobos schedule, Arizona is number 20. So your AP college football poll is out. Receiving votes, Boise State would be 27th. UNLV's got a few votes in there as well. Liberty has some points after escaping New Mexico State, getting out of Las Cruces with that victory. We'll talk to Tony Sanchez tomorrow morning, right at 7 o'clock, boys and girls, on Tuesdays. That's how we'll open the show. Yeah, I mean, anything I missed as far as what you got to know as you go through today?
Football is football.
Yeah. No, all that's right. I'm looking through my college stuff. Is there anything? So, Texas, Michigan. And somebody's in here said, I forgot how much I hate Michigan. I didn't mean to go over that, but I was bouncing through all these.
Well, Friday night's game, we didn't get into that a lot. Of course, just reaction from Sunday.
The NFL game?
Yes.
Okay.
Jordan Love.
That's huge.
Could be out a month.
It's huge.
Knee injury. Saquon Barkley set up to have the best year of his career.
He only had 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
Bad field, but then opened up to explosive plays in the second half.
How much of a bummer to see Love go down the second to last play of the game, just trying to make something happen. Now, it sounds, 3 to 6 weeks is what they're saying, MCL?
It changes the trajectory of your season.
Well, look, their backup is Malik Willis, right?
They're probably going to have the Titans quarterback room from 2-3 years ago.
Ryan Tannehill's coming in?
Most likely.
Yeah, and I think that's the right answer for them. I mean, I think that's probably the right answer. But
because Reed was explosive. The passing game is what you expect, and not a true number one. Jacobs was fine with his 15 carries and 80 yards, but Jordan Love was the difference, and now they have to survive and see if his knee can be good enough in the second half of the season to make a push.
Yeah, no, I think all of that's right. And it's amazing what one injury can do on week one to make you just a holy bleep. Rod says, sure enjoyed Michigan getting blued out of their built, Jefferson. I think I speak for most of America when I say I forgot how much I hate the Wolverines and their obnoxious fans who've only gotten more obnoxious after winning the championship belt. It's from Rod. Okay. They got blued out of their built. There was no doubt about what happened there, right? Texas, I've seen 2 weeks of football. I know Georgia's that good. I think I know Ohio State's that good, although they don't play anybody. Texas has got the most impressive victory, don't they?
Well, Texas, I'm fine. I'm going to say they're the second best team in college football right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Georgia,
super
Texas, Ohio State, super early.
Yeah.
I think Michigan is nowhere near the team they were last year.
Obviously.
Easy.
They have no
I'm
offense.
not breaking news there. But.
Yeah, I mean, they have no offense, and I was surprised they didn't go to Orgy earlier, staying with California quarterback. They can't move the football. And, yeah, look, when you lose all that, it's hard to rebuild and replace, unless you're Alabama or Georgia. And, this might be Texas's turn. Ohio State looks nice. Alabama's got to go to Wisconsin this week, which I know it's not like Wisconsin isn't right, but it's still a hell of a trip, and it's a tough place for them to go. But nice win by Iowa State on the road to beat Iowa. I thought that was a fun one to watch. The end of that, unless you're an Iowa fan. Oklahoma barely got by Houston, which surprised me a bit. And then look, I want to see SC win again. I mean, to me, that's the second most impressive. Going into the big house and winning is more impressive than beating LSU on a neutral turf, right? Texas's win has got to be more impressive than SC's.
No.
You don't think so? Why? Because think LSU's better than Michigan?
LSU's better than Michigan.
Okay. The way they handle them, Texas going in there into that environment and completely dominating.
Well, it's a great environment. It's not a good football team on their side.
I mean, I don't know how good they are or not.
Versus
they can't
the
score.
Elite status. Texas is elite.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but is LSU?
I think LSU's better than Michigan.
Yeah, that might be right.
And just the defense USC played. Bring that to Big Ten ball.
Yeah. Yep. 505-246-0610. SC gets, who do they get next? They're off until they get Michigan. I mean, that's good. How about that one? Not this week, but next. SC's at the big house. And that's a schedule. Dude, you get LSU, then you get Michigan, then you get, wow. Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Howie.
Good morning, gentlemen. So, how about Jerry Jones's impeccable timing on Dak Prescott signing?
Yeah,
huh?
Okay.
Look at me, right? Well, and you're correct, Jeff. I think this deal was done a while back.
Yeah, I mean, I promise you it didn't get done that morning. They didn't wake up that morning and Dak said, his agent called and said, hey, I know you're getting ready for a game, but hey, what do you think of this?
Exactly. I think the Cowboys were clicking on all cylinders yesterday. They had takeaways on defense, special teams touchdowns, and Dak looked decent. He looked good. I thought the offensive scheme was good. I thought the way they kept rolling him out away from Myles Garrett was a smart thing to do. And, while they didn't light the world on fire, it was a good performance. Deshaun Watson is a horrible, abysmal quarterback.
I'm not arguing with you.
I don't think he made the Cowboy defense look incredibly good. Although I think the defense is solid, I still believe they'll have to ride the defense because at some point the glaring deficiencies in the backfield are going to show up. So, and I'm sorry Lions are roaring today and the Rams aren't ramming it, Jeff, but I should have started Matt Stafford instead of Dak Prescott at fantasy football.
Yeah.
I might have won.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
JJ should have too. Let me tell you. Oh, you did?
Benched Dak Prescott, and I did a hit on our Sunday morning show right here on the Sports Animal, telling people to bench Dak Prescott. Scored 11 fantasy points.
Let me tell you something. I think the Cowboys took their foot off the gas a little bit in the second half against Cleveland.
They managed the game. They should have.
Yeah. I'm not concerned about Dak's numbers and their offense look like that. You know what? They're
in a good game script week 2 against the Saints. You should expect an uptick from Dak Prescott right there. It was a weird week for quarterbacks when it comes to fantasy football. When The QB2 of the week could end up being Baker Mayfield. 29 points and 4-point passing touchdown.
Who was QB1? Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. And that's still, the cheat code is still rushing. When you look at what we got from Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, and Lamar Jackson, they're the difference makers this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not worried about what the Cowboys did offensively. I'm just not, because they did enough to get to that point, and they didn't have to do any more. Why am I showing more? Why am I going to do more when I don't have to? And to me, that's exactly what happened there. And I got no qualms with what they did. I mean, they took care of what they needed to take care of. All right, tomorrow, Tony Sanchez is going to be with us at the top of the show, right at the top. New Mexico State's football coach. Thank you to Bronco Mendenhall today. He was with us. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4. And then you get Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets against the San Francisco 49ers. Adrian, always looks good. Thanks for a great show. JJ, big day?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Hey, be good to each other, please. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with award-winning radio then. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.